Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to Ask a Trainer Tuesdays. This is Mike from Seneca College's Athletics and Recreation Department. And I'm going to be joined here shortly by Chris Sousa, our fitness coordinator from King Campus. And we're going to be discussing a few topics that are in theme with our winter wellness series that we've been kicking off this week, leading into Reading Week for you guys. So I'm just going to let Chris in and we'll get our conversation started for Ask a Trainer Tuesdays. So should be coming in here shortly. Day so far. Good afternoon, everyone coming in.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good. How's it going, Chris?
I'm well, thank you.
Good,
You
good.
can,
Just
you,
doing
you can hear me all right?
yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Good, good.
Just did a quick little introduction as to what we're going to discuss, and we'll get more into it. Obviously, we're doing our Winter Wellness Series week this week with our department and with other departments throughout Seneca College. Lots of events, discussions, special guest appearances from student services and external people we have coming in that are going to be talking about all things winter wellness. And for our Ask a Trainer Tuesday today, we're going to obviously stick with the winter wellness kind of theme. Which we're hopefully going to be transitioning to spring soon, because as much as I love the snow as much as the next person, but I think just because we've been, with the lockdowns and everything, it would be nice to get a little bit more sunshine and stuff like that. So, but without further ado, we're just going to maybe talk about joint pains, winter aches and pains, which can be the result of many different things. But a lot of people tend to maybe complain a bit more in the winter time, and maybe that's because of a lack of activity due to certain stiffnesses, imbalances, sorenesses, things like that. But then also things directly related to the winter that could potentially affect your body. And then so we'll kind of maybe share some things that could prevent future winter aches and pains. So I'm going to start off the conversation with some seasonal differences. When you
Right.
compare maybe how more active we are in the spring and summertime, as far as going outside and just getting regular physical activity. And when I mean exercise, I don't mean, intense workouts. I'm just referring to general non-sedentary behavior where we're not just stuck at our keyboards. From the feedback we get is most people kind of are stuck inside more in the wintertime. So yeah, basically for me, I would think that the seasonal differences is really about imbalances. So if you look at the summer, a lot of injuries people get are usually a result of maybe their workouts, or they're doing a 5K run, or they're really motivated and they want to squeeze it in before the end of the summer. Whereas in the winter is maybe a lack of the motivation. So what are some of the differences that you think between the summer and the winter when it comes to our inactivity and imbalances and pains and things like that?
Yeah, I think people get excited that they're cooped up inside, but like you said, they're not on a regular basis moving their bodies. So when they do get a chance to get outside, it's a lot. It's a lot of volume. If they're walking and running, they're doing a lot because they haven't been out, right? So I think they go from 0 to 100, and the body's just not ready for that. So
Yeah.
you get definitely some joint pain because your joints and your bones are like any other like your muscles, right? They adapt to the stress that you put on them. So to go from being in hibernation mode to going out and hiking 5K, your body's going to be a little upset with you. It really needs time to adapt to that amount of work. So I know people get excited to get out there, but you kind of have to ease into it if you haven't been active during the cold months. So keep that in mind for sure. That's one of the things.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I did a quick check-in with everyone yesterday for our Motivational Monday video, and it was kind of talking
Mhm.
about how we need to obviously embrace the cold and the winter and not so much change that mindset, so we're not wishing away the winter months like, oh, okay, just 60 more days and it's spring or summer. And our vocabulary, the way that we talk is almost kind of dismissive of winter, that we're obviously now Obviously, there are
Yeah,
some harsh, cold days that you want to just be inside and all cozy and stuff like that. But we obviously need to adapt and find something that we enjoy so that we can maintain that same level of excitement with our exercise in the winter than we do in the summer and spring. So a lot of these inactivities will result in imbalances. We'll spend a few more hours at our desks with the bad posture, which will result in chronic maybe back pain and imbalances, and things like that that are at least preventable with improving our activity. So definitely my tip is to, yeah, we've discussed this many times before, is to try to find that one thing that you look forward to doing so that it's not so much a chore that you think that you need to, like, oh, I guess I have to get outside today even though it's cold. There's just all these things that you should do, but it's really just find something you enjoy, and it might prevent some of these aches and pains.
for sure.
Yeah.
I find it does take a bit longer to warm up, to increase your core temperature. It takes a lot longer, obviously, when your environment is colder. So a good tip I find is to wear some compression clothing that helps kind of trap the heat in, so you don't have to spend as much time warming up. And your body, as you start to move around, will actually warm up pretty quickly. The compression also helps around the joints as well.
Right.
Um, so compression tops and bottoms is something that I just bought a pair. I don't know, probably 10 years ago, and there's something that you're going to have for a really long time unless your weight's fluctuating. But like, you're not going to wear out a good pair of
Right.
compression pants or a shirt. So
Right.
that's
Yeah.
something I always throw on for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. So there's so many things we could obviously talk about that. It's things to motivate you and encourage you to get outside in the winter to stay active. But really, we're just talking about how to prevent those extra aches and pains and imbalances that you might get in the winter due to that inactivity. So it's pretty much just a consequence of not being as active.
Yeah.
And then our next topic is really equally as important, but a little different because it'll be different for everybody. And it's, instead of a seasonal difference, it's with inactivity and behavior, it's more physiological. So there are certain things in the wintertime, your body, like you had said, requires more of a warm up to go, instead of going from 0 to 100 right into your workout, because you need that extra circulation for your connective tissue and your joints to withstand less impact. So you can't really just go from your office chair and then head outside in -10 and then go for a run. Now you shouldn't do that anytime. But even more so in the cold weather, that could drastically affect your body.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one is a lot of people experience, I know I do, with headaches and things like that, is like barometric pressure changes from season to season when the temperature kind of goes crazy up and down. This can actually not only be just a headache problem, but also throughout the body. Some people's kind of joints and connective tissues can expand and contract a bit more. And people that suffer from arthritis, things like that, it can actually really make a huge difference in the winter versus the summer. So there are things to consider, that the temperature actually does have an effect on our physiology. So really, like you had said, I think maybe taking that warm-up component and really taking it seriously. So I don't know, like, what you would do, like, obviously with the time and everything's worried about time, and how long should that really take, do you think, you know?
So it really depends on, like, how, like, I'll start my warm up inside, just to increase my core temperature and create some heat underneath my compression clothing. So that's a quick tip. If you go outside, it's going to take you a bit longer. But also you want to kind of slowly adapt to the cold. But I would say, like, for me, I heat up right away, and I can get through a warm up in like less than 5 minutes for sure.
Yeah.
Just start, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy, like just moving your body around. There are tons of different dynamic warm-ups you can do, but as long as you're just kind of mimicking the movement that you're going to be doing outside, is going to be more than enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I remember back when I was younger, early morning hockey practice at like 5:30 a.m. and in the middle of February, it's already -20 outside. And then you show up to the arena and you literally rolled out of bed because it's 5 a.m. and you obviously, even when you're 16, it doesn't really matter, right? And you would hop on the ice and it's obviously freezing. And it takes like 15 to 20 minutes into that practice until you start to feel less stiff. You know, you don't feel that effect of the cold on your performance. So this is obviously really important. You can tell right away that it takes a while. So that's why if you can do some kind of warm up before your run outside or your hike, it might prevent you from falls, things like this, where you can warm up your body to help better balance, coordination, things like that. All these things are related to winter aches and pains and soreness and chronic pains and things like that. So that's my experience and my kind of tip for everyone. Is there anything else you think that's specific to winter when it comes to you know, activity and imbalances and pain or anything like that people should know?
Yeah, I would just say, especially, you know, we're all shoveling snow, so just keep in mind to be cognizant of how you're controlling your body, your positioning, because there is a proper technique to shovel, right? A lot of times the injuries that we get are because we're not being focused on our form, or we're just not being careful, right?
Yeah.
When we're doing things like lifting weights or doing some bodyweight exercises, we're always thinking about where our body should be. But when we're shoveling snow or when we're going for a walk and we slip, we're not really focused on that, and we get into bad positions. So just think about that. Making sure you're being extra careful with your steps, and if you're running, obviously make sure that you're running on a surface that either is shoveled or that the snow is pretty compacted down.
Yeah.
There's always risks involved, so just keep that in mind to prevent some of those aches and pains.
Yeah, and this all comes back to the whole embracing the cold thing. And like you had kind of said, you're shoveling your driveway or out of your car and you're really just in a hurry and you're doing it and you hate it. It's so cold. But that's technically physical activity. Like what you're doing right there is actually pretty good active physical activity that perhaps you wouldn't be getting in the summertime, and you can replace it in the winter with an activity like that because it's a total body almost workout in its own. So if you're looking for more activity and you want to be a friendly neighbor, you could always do that and get a total body workout, and so that you're not just getting like that back pain kind of thing. So there's so many things you can do. I think it all just comes down to embracing the cold in the winter, so that it's just not this horrible thing that you just wish away. So anyway, so that's what I had to say. Hopefully everyone kind of learned something from that and can kind of get some perspective, and hopefully prevent some of these imbalances and aches and pains, so that we're, as much as I want spring, we have to obviously enjoy the winter as well. So we do have some stuff coming up later today. I thought I would throw a shout out. It's our winter wellness. So we've got one of our special guest speakers, Lacey Elizabeth, is going to be doing a skincare routine for our winter wellness series, hosted by Michelle Hamer, and that's at 1:30. It's going to be here live on IGTV, and then I'm going to be doing our functional training workout at 2:30, and then later tonight we have our social event at 5 p.m. for our Be Well Kahoot challenge. So if you haven't signed up, go ahead, check that out online. Unless there's anything else you want to add, Chris, thanks for tuning in.
No, awesome. I think we have. I think Sarah, does Sarah have hit today?
Oh, sorry, that's right. It's I lost track of time. It's already 12:30.
Sorry.
Sarah for sure has our high intensity interval training class at 12:40, which is in 10 minutes, so you have some time. And
do a proper warm up though.
What's that?
I said do a proper warm up though.
Make sure you do a proper warm up. Yeah, absolutely. So thanks, guys. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it as always.
All right, Mike.
And have a good rest of the week. Be well.
Get out there, enjoy it. Take care.